So check it out. Today, I've got 7 weird facts that millionaires will not share with you. My name is Christopher Claflin. I'm the founder of CompleteWebLaunch.com, and today's episode is brought to you by me. If you need a great website, reach out to me and my team. We'll take really good care of you, and who knows, maybe that's the start of you working your way to your first million.
Since I was 2 years old, it has been my dream to have $1 million.
And now, you do.
So enough about me. Let's talk about making your first million. And the first thing that you might not know that millionaires will not tell you is that $1 million is not that much. Weird fact number 1. It is a lot of money, but at the same time, it's kind of not. When you think about how much $1 million is going to change your life, in the grand scheme of things, if I wrote you a check for $1 million or you won the lottery today and had $1 million plunked down in your bank account, it wouldn't change your life that much. And if it did, it's not going to change your life for very long. So let's take a look at the average monthly expenses for a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 kids. The average mortgage costs around $2,000. Health insurance on average is $1,152. The average family of 4 spends at least $550 a month on food. Utilities for a household of 4 is around $400. The average household has 2 vehicles, and on average, each one of those vehicles, if they're still being paid off, is going to run you $400 a month. And on top of all of that, you've got miscellaneous insurance expenses, the cost of gas and maintenance for your vehicles, the cost of maintenance for your home.
Guys. Well.
Unexpected medical and dental expenses. And this doesn't even cover any of the fun stuff, going to movies, Netflix, things like that. So just for the bare minimum for a family of 4 to survive month to month, you're looking at $4,500. So if you had $1 million plunk into your lap and you decide to live off of it, it will get you and your family of 4 along without a standard of living increase, just doing everything exactly the same as you are, just surviving month to month. $1 million will allow you to do that for 18 years. But let's say you want to increase your standard of living and spend $100,000 a year, which in the grand scheme of things still is not going to change your lifestyle that much. You'll have a few nicer things. You'll be able to enjoy leisurely activities, but you're not going to have a mansion. You're not going to be driving a Lambo. And spending $100,000 a year is going to give you a 10-year runway. So $1 million will not change your life the way that you think it will, the way that most people think it will.
I'm rich, bitch!
But it will change your life if you look at your $1 million as a tool for growth. Because $1 million to spend is not that much money. But $1 million to invest, that's a good chunk of change. If you invest wisely, you're well on your way to making your second million and then your third million. But when it comes to spending, $1 million is kind of peanuts.
That's weird.
Weird millionaire fact number 2. Did you know that only 1% of self-made millionaires became millionaires before the age of 40?
When people are secure in their jobs, they work harder, they work happier, they work better.
That is because the average millionaire in the United States is only a millionaire in the single digits. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. It means the average millionaire has anywhere between $1 and $3 million, maybe a little bit more, but most millionaires only have a handful of millions in the bank or in assets or whatever. We'll talk a little bit more about why this is, but let's move on to millionaire fact number 3. The vast majority of deca millionaires, which are millionaires who have 10 million plus in the bank, the vast majority of them made their money from business. They're entrepreneurs.
You will love business.
It's virtually impossible to make $10 million plus just from working a day job, even if you're investing your money really wisely. It does not happen very often. And there's another weird fact tied to deca millionaires. Let's move on to millionaire fact number 4. People love to throw around this phrase that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, and maybe that's true, but your first $1 million is not likely to come from 7 streams of income. It's likely to come from 1 or 2. You might have 7, but the majority of the money contributed to your $1 million plus net worth is going to come from 1 or 2 sources. Let me explain. We know that most millionaires in the United States have a handful of millions sitting around, and you don't make more than that unless you're an entrepreneur. So the people that have made $1, $2, or $3 million, that net worth comes mostly from high-earning individuals that invested that money into the stock market or into real estate or whatever. But that's really only two sources. You've got the initial source of income, which is coming from your high-paying job. Maybe you're a doctor or a lawyer or an architect or a drug dealer.
Thing like El Nino, this airflow that comes from Hawaii and Canada, and it gets the dirt, mixes it in with the weed in a very special way. It's actually very scientific. I won't go into it right now, but I am the only guy in the whole city that has it.
So you're earning your income from your day job, source number one, and then you're investing it into a vehicle that's going to allow that to grow. We'll call that source number two. Or maybe we should call it source number one still, because you're taking money from one source and leveraging it into a second. I don't know. But the truth is, the average millionaire doesn't necessarily have 7 streams of income all equally contributing to their net worth, because it's really hard to do more than 1 or 2 things really well. And let's talk about entrepreneurs, the decamillionaires, the people that are worth 10 million, 50 million, 100 million or more. In most cases, those sized fortunes also come from 1 or 2 sources. The sale of a company, the growth of a company, the investment of funds from the sale of a company.
Your profit on a mere $6,000 investment would be upwards of $60,000.
But again, this idea that 7 streams of income is the path to being a millionaire, that's not true. It's actually the opposite. Maybe the average millionaire has 7 streams of income on average, but the majority of their wealth, again, is being derived from 1 or 2 sources that are making up 80 to 90% of that $1 million net worth. Think about that for a minute.
I don't get it. Oh, now I get it.
Weird millionaire fact number 5. Your first 100K is the hardest. There's this interesting thing that happens around $100,000 where it's not that you've earned $100,000, but you have saved and accumulated $100,000 cash. That $100,000 is the hardest to put together. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, said it. And if you talk to any millionaire, they'll probably agree with you that the first 100,000 is the hardest. And something interesting happens when you hit your first 100K. If you've got 100K sitting in the bank, you now have a real chunk of money that you can invest into things where you can actually get a return that matters. If you can make it to 100K from nothing and you've got $100,000 to invest back into your business or into the market or into crypto or into real estate or whatever it is your thing is, $100,000 is enough to be able to make it to $1 million. If you can get to those 6 figures, you're probably going to make it to 7. Weird millionaire fact number 6. Most millionaires are not retired. They're still out there working on their next million. And weird millionaire fact number 7, we're going to go back to the decamillionaires, because there's this interesting thing where people lump millionaires and billionaires together and they don't even belong in the same sentence, because there's such an incomprehensible gap between what $1 million looks like and $1 billion looks like. But we do the same thing with millionaires. We talk about millionaires like they're all the same, but there's this insane gap between what $1 million looks like and $10 million looks like. What $10 million looks like versus $100 million. They're not even in the same universes. So let's talk about the decamillionaires, which is the type of person most people think about when you throw around the term millionaire. Like I said earlier, most decamillionaires made their money from a business. They're entrepreneurs. And weird millionaire fact number 7 is that the average successful millionaire entrepreneur, we're talking decamillionaire, $10 million plus, the average person that's achieved that has gone bust 3 times before they saw success. So when you go up into the really nice neighborhoods and you're driving around looking at the amazing houses that you would like to have someday, chances are the people that live in those fall into 2 categories. They're either dual income households where both incomes are above average, like maybe you have 2 doctors or a doctor and a lawyer, and those are the people whose houses are empty during the day because they're off working. But when you're driving through those nice neighborhoods and you see that one guy who's just always hanging out with his kids, his boat's always in the front yard, and they always seem to be doing stuff. Hey, Timmy, check this out! And you're like, what does this guy do? Chances are he owns and operates a very large and successful business. And chances are he blew up 3 of those before he made it. So there you have it, 7 weird facts about millionaires that millionaires typically don't talk about. Thanks for checking this video out. I hope you found it entertaining. And if you have any video suggestions that you'd like me to cover, leave a comment. And I'll see you next time. Bye.